last time. One of them you might be able to spot in my team at the moment. We have Hysilens. Hysilens here. I really wanted Hysilens because I wanted to put together a decent dot damage over time team, and I already had Kafka, who is the queen of dot in Honkai, and I thought Hysilens would be the perfect partner. So I managed to pick her up, and I think I have a pretty usable build. It was a bit of a pain farming for her gear, and it's not perfect yet, because I also had to get Kafka up and running as well. She didn't have very good gear on, but I think I've got them both in a place where they work pretty well. So I'm hoping that there is a good chance to use them in the MoC today. If not, we might try to force it. And my other character, you might be able to guess if you know the banner at the moment, is Saridra. Originally, I wasn't going to pull for her because Hysilens was on the banner before her, and I didn't have any pulls saved up. Also, I figured that I had a pretty good Finan and Anaxa team already, and Saridra is geared towards being a support for them at the moment, because she boosts skill damage as a major part of her kit. But I tried her out in the free trial, and I loved how she looked, and thought that her kit was really interesting. So I dropped a couple pulls in and managed to get lucky, and here she is. So I've been building her as well, ready to go in my Finan team and my Anaxa team as well, because she's on banner at the moment. I'm pretty certain that there will be a good chance to use her in the MoC. So I haven't looked at the Memory of Chaos yet. Why don't we head on over together and take a look here? We'll teleport on over. And here we are. So we have the Pillar of Genesis special effect, and it says after an ally character uses a skill to attack, or a memo sprite attacks, add 1 hit per action to the memory turbulence up to 10 hits. At the start of every cycle, each hit from memory turbulence deals true damage to a random enemy target 1 time. Perfect. So the skill attack here is definitely geared towards Saridra, who wants to be in teams with a damage dealer that uses their skill a lot. So we can jump straight to stage 9, and let's see who is here. On the first half we have the Howling Casket, and on the second half we have Jabard. Let's see their weaknesses. The recommended type for the second half is imaginary and lightning. Although there is a lot of physical weakness as well, it doesn't matter too much with the Finan team. In fact, I would say it pretty much doesn't matter at all what their actual weaknesses are, because when Finan goes into his ultimate, he implants physical weakness on all of the enemies. So it pretty much doesn't matter. However, we don't have the same for the Kafka Iceland's DoT team unless we bring like Silverwolf along. So ideally we're looking for some lightning weakness, some physical weakness, and whoever else we decide to bring along, their weakness as well. I might go for the DoT team on the second half. I'll bring Iceland's. I'll put Chow Chow in for now, although we might swap him out, and Kafka with a space for maybe some sustain. Although on floor 9 we might be able to power through without any sustain. And why don't we bring along our Finan team on the first half with Finan, Sunday, and Saritra. I don't think we will need any sustain on the first half, so we can bring along another support. How about Ron May? And on the second half, just because I haven't actually tested this team out in any endgame content yet, I'm going to bring Aventurine, who will help sustain us and can also count towards the weakness damage there. So we'll give this a go. Why don't we quickly run through the builds? Yeah. So my Finan build hasn't changed at all since last time. We're focusing on attack, crit rate, crit damage, and also hitting a speed breakpoint. I know that speed is not a super important stat on him generally, because when he's in his alt state, the speed at which he takes his turns is based on his base speed, not including any gear, and it's not super important in his alt anyway. However, I have him at a specific speed breakpoint to work with Sunday, who is one speed slower, so that Finan goes, and then Sunday can boost him up straight away, which means that we come online with his ult a lot quicker. So here are his core stats there. I do have his signature light cone, and I also have him at E2. He is on a 4-piece Wave Strider Captain and a 2-piece Rutilant Arena. We have Sunday, who also hasn't changed since last time, with his core stats being speed, hitting a particular breakpoint, as we mentioned already, crit damage as well, because he gives a buff based on his crit damage to whoever we pick for his skills. And then just some defensive stats like HP and defense, as well as energy regen rate, so that we get his ult up as frequently as possible. I do have his signature light cone, and I have him at E2 as well. And he's on a 4-piece Sacerdotes Relived Ordeal with a 2-piece Lushaka the Sunken Seas. Here we have the new character to the team, Saridra, who favors speed and attack for her main stats, as well as energy regenerate as well for her own ult. I don't have any Eidolons, and I have her on the event light cone, the Forever Victual, which just gives a huge attack boost. There is a threshold for Saridra's attack to give a maximum bonus. Where is it? This one. Her bonus ability, Benny, says for every 100 of Saridra's attack that exceeds 2000, increases her crit damage by 18% up to a max increase of 360%, which gives an attack threshold of 5,000, I think. I think that's 5,000. One of her other bonus abilities, Biddy, increases her crit rate by 100%, so although she's not going to be the main damage dealer, she does contribute some damage, and then this crit damage increase helps for that, of course. She also, let's see, which one is it? The talent. Ave Imperator says the character with military merit, which is the buff that she gives with her skill, increases attack by an amount equal to 24% of Saridra's attack. So she's incentivized to build loads of attack, and that's what we've gone for. There's a couple of talents left to, a couple of traces left to skill up, but nothing too important, just personal damage. I've got her on a 4-piece Sacerdosis Relived Ordeal, and I've got her on a 2-piece Firmament Frontline Glamoth. This 2-piece set gives her some extra attack. It does boost her own personal damage, but I think I also mainly picked it for some substats as well. It gives a load of speed, which is perfect for us. And yeah, so that's Saridra. I'll talk about how she works when we get into combat, although it's not too complicated. And we have finally Ranmei for this team, who is quick and has lots of break effect. I don't have any Eidolons for her, and I have her on the Memories of the Past light cone, which boosts her break effect and also gives her a bit of extra energy. It's not leveled up fully, but that only increases the HP, attack and defense stats, so not hugely important for supports like Ranmei. I have her on. Her relics are a bit of a mess. I've only got a 2-piece bonus on the main relics messenger traversing hackerspace, and I've got her on a 2-piece Italia Kingdom of Banditry for the planar ornaments, which increases her break effect. I'm pretty sure I've just picked these pieces for their substats. Break effect and speed, it'll be fine, I think. And she's almost all traced up. The only other one that matters is this skill, which I still need to get to 10, but it's a small increase of 2% damage, so I'm not too bothered about getting that super quickly. But that is our first team. Let's take a look at the second team, starting with Hysolence. So she is a DoT debuffer, and she wants attack and effect hit rate, as well as speed to a lesser extent. Iceland's is a little slow at 129, but I have had some trouble getting good gear for her. So this is the best I could do. She does have 3084 attack, so her dots will hit pretty hard. And I've got her to 124% effect hit rate. I think she has a talent that has a threshold of 125. This one, for every 10% of Iceland's effect hit rate that exceeds 60%, increases her damage dealt by 15, up to a max increase of 90%. Okay, so that's 190%. Maybe I mentioned this before, but it would be very helpful if they just told you what the threshold is, rather than us needing to do some quick maths in our head. So that's 15 goes into 90 6 times, so we're looking at 60% exceeding 60%. The threshold is 120%, which we have actually hit, so we get the maximum bonus of this damage increase. I have her on the Eyes of the Prey light cone, which increases effect hit rate and dot damage. And I have her on a 4-piece Prisoner in Deep Confinement and a 2-piece Pan-Cosmic Commercial Enterprise, which boosts dot damage and attack and things like that, effect hit rate as well. The main piece, the main body, is not fully leveled up just yet. I think I was looking for a slightly better piece. It does have effect hit rate as the main stat, and we have hit our threshold, but the attack is low, and break effect I think rolled a couple times. Yeah, so it's not a great piece, and I think I just couldn't bring myself to level it up anymore, considering we're at a usable state. So I'm still trying to farm for a final body piece there for her. But overall, I don't have any Eidolons. Overall, I think she is very usable. We've hit all the thresholds, and so that is the main thing. Next up we have Chow Cho, who's also a dot debuffer. My Chow Cho is pretty quick, and he has lots of effect hit rate, 158.4%. which, through one of his traces, converts into extra attack for him. Where is it? This one, for every 15% of Chow Cho's effect hit rate that exceeds 80%, additionally increases attack by 60% up to 240%. So we have another threshold there, but it just means that in battle his attack is a lot higher. I do have his signature light cone. I don't have any Eidolons, and I've got him on a split 2-piece Sacerdos' Relived Ordeal and a 2-piece Messenger Traversing Hackerspace, which both give some speed. It just means that he goes very quickly and he can generate some skill points for the rest of the team to use. I also have him on a Sprightly Von Wack set, just so that he gets a bit of extra energy regen rate, which is very good for him and makes sure that he goes first. Even though no one else on the team at the moment is actually quicker than him. I think at one point I maybe ran in with someone who was a little bit quicker. Not sure, but I think it's a fine set to have on him. That's Chow Cho. Next up we have Kafka, who fairly recently got a pretty big buff. I think we can read about it here. Yeah, she got a pretty big buff, which means that she pops dots more often. she does her follow-up more often, which also applies her own DoT. And she also has a big attack buff as long as the teammate has, I think, over 70% something here. When an ally target's effect hit rate is 75% or higher. Kafka increases that target's attack by 100%. So she's a very good support as well for DoT teams, as well as being like the main driver by popping DoTs really often. She is fairly quick, not massively, 149 speed there, and she has 124.4% energy regen rate to get her ult up as much as possible, and effect hit rate is just over 70%, so that she benefits from her own buff. I have her on the before the tutorial mission starts light cone, which works really well in this team. It increases her effect hit rate, and it also says when the wearer attacks defense reduced enemies, regenerates 8 energy, and both Saridra and Jiao Cho reduce the enemy's defense. So it means that Kafka gets her ult up super quickly, which is great. I don't have any Eidolons, and I've got her on a 4-piece Eagle of Twilight line. Again, because she ults so often, this boosts her up and makes her go even more quickly, which is great. And I've got her on a 2-piece Lushaka the Sunken Seas. It helps her fill like a nice support role even more by boosting Hycelin's attack in this case, and also giving her some extra energy regen rate. And she's pretty much all traced up apart from her basic attack, which, as long as we're managing our skill points properly, we will not be using. And finally we have Aventurine, who wants a lot of defense. He gives shields based on his defense, and he also has a passive which boosts his crit rate here. For every 100 of Aventurine's defense that exceeds 1600, increases his own crit rate by 2% up to a maximum increase of 48%. So he also has fairly decent crit stats. He does do a bit of damage himself with his follow-up attacks, which he stacks fairly quickly because Kafka does follow-up attacks as well. So he works pretty well in this team. I have his signature light cone, and I have him at E1. And he is on a 4-piece Knight of Purity Palace for the extra shield bonus, and a 2-piece Lushaka the Sunken Seas. And he is all traced up. So, those are our teams. Why don't we take them into stage 9 to see how they do. Okay, so we're going to pop a couple of techniques before we head in. Thankfully everyone can use their supportive techniques. And then Finan can start the battle with his. Saridra's technique is pretty important. Once I use it, the character that I have active, so if I switch to Finan, will get a little buff below their portrait on the right. And it means that when we start the fight, Saridra will automatically apply her skill to that character. Finan in this case. So we'll see that happen automatically when we start the fight here. Boom. Boom. She's gonna slam down a chess piece, which I think looks so cool. 6 charges. We get charges in a couple of ways, with when Saridra uses her skill again, or her ult, or when Finan uses his skill, we get a stack, and when it gets to 6 stacks, the buff gets upgraded to Peerage, I think it's called, which gives Finan a really big boost to his skill damage and his resistance penetration, and when he next uses his skill, it will cast again for free, automatically, right away. So it is super, super powerful when Finan is in his ult state. It means we get a double meteor for free, no cost to the number of turns we get or anything. And on top of that, she gives like an attack buff just generally as well. So Finan has a good amount of attack, 4,000, like 700-ish. She's perfect for Finan, basically. I'm gonna go ahead and just use the basic attack and her ult. Here we go. The ult also looks cool. I'm gonna slow it down so we can see. And it will give, I think, 2 stacks to the military merit buff. I love her animations. They're so cool. Just get that there. We've taken a little bit of damage, but most of this fight is going to have Finan in his ult state. So we don't really need to worry about this. Just use a basic attack here. Now I do want to try and line up the stacks here with when Finan goes into his ult mode. I don't really want to waste the buff on a regular skill here. So we're at 11. I'm going to use Saridra to use her skill on Finan, which should give us 12, and I can just pop his ult. There we go. And it means that the first skill we use is going to double up for free. So I'll get 1 on this guy, and then it will trigger again when the next wave comes in. Here we go. Boom, and we get another one. Very nice. Very nice, minimal effort. I was actually going to check his stats, but the second wave just wiped immediately. So I'll do that next time. And here we are in the second half. One unfortunate thing about this team I have here is that I'm fairly certain both Jiao Chou and Hysolins have zone-based techniques, so I can only use one of them, I think. We'll try them out though. I'll use Jiao Chou's first and then Hysolins. And we'll try and get some. Yeah. We won't be able to push Aventurine's technique any more than that. So I'll use Jiao Chou's and then Hysolins, which fires out a like a fishy orb. And then we'll use Kafka to start the fight. Yeah. I'll pop that. So the way that Hysolins works is that when this, if you see around the side of the arena, as long as this zone is up, which is counted by these, this counter below Hysolins portrait, it gets refreshed with her ult. Whenever we deal DoT damage inside of this zone, which just looks so funny. Whenever we deal DoT damage, it so while the zone is out, all of the enemies deal less damage because their attack is lowered, and their defense is also lowered as well, by 25%. Otherwise, Iceland also applies some dots herself. When ally targets attack, when an ally target attacks, there is a 100% base chance for Iceland to inflict the hit enemy target with one of the 4 following states: wind, bleed, burn, or shock. So she also helps stack dots as well. Her skill also applies another debuff that increases their damage taken, and her ult pops dots. Where is it? Which is this bonus effect down here. If the enemy target is currently afflicted with dots, all dots currently applied to the target will immediately produce damage equal to 150% of their original damage. And the technique that we applied at the beginning, the ocean bubble, has applied some dots already, so we're looking pretty good for the dot stacking. And the aim is just to get Kafka up and running, really. Whenever she uses her ult or her skill, it pops dots. So we should get a nice chunk of damage here, for example. And that that damage goes up as we keep stacking dots on them. So it does take a little bit of ramping usually. However, we should get some really nice damage towards the end of the fight. And we have plenty of skill points, so I'm going to use Chow Cho's to apply some of his debuff, and then I'll pop his ult as well. Here we go. Perfect. You see all those dots triggering? It's really satisfying to watch. And Kafka will have her ult up again already. She just gets so much energy. And we'll pop her ult. Boom, boom, boom. Pow. Jabard is down, and we just need to take down this robot. We'll let Iceland have the honor with her ult, which is very beautiful, so I'll slow it down so we can watch it. Nice. Okay, cool. So both of those teams did pretty well, I'd say. I spent far longer rambling about them and checking through the builds than I did in the fight. So hopefully we can keep using them in the upcoming floors. Okay, for stage 10 we have Argenti on the first half, who is weak to physical. Finan seems like a good choice here then. Although, again, the weakness doesn't actually matter that much with Finan. And the second team, we have the past, present, and eternal show enemies. So although it doesn't actually show it, they're pretty weak across the board to physical and fire and lightning. So I think we can actually stick. With these teams, which I'm happy about. Let's jump straight in. And try this out. Potentially we might need to swap Ron May out for a sustain. If everyone gets sniped before Finan gets into his ult form. We'll just pop all the techniques again. And summon a black hole on top of Argenti to start the fight. Oh, let me speed this up. They're very beautiful animations, but it does take quite long if we're watching them all. Okay. I'll just start off with a basic attack and an ult from Saridra. If I used a skill there, even though we're pretty good for skill points, if I used Saridra's skill, I would stack this peerage buff too quickly, and it would make things a bit awkward. Pow. Pow. These two have managed to sneak in between Finan and Sunday and Ranmei. Saridra does give a speed buff to Finan, so there is a bit of a gap between them. Hopefully it doesn't matter though. We should be able to get Finan up and running very soon. I'm just going to share the weakness damage a little bit. Boost Finan back up and use our Sunday ult here. The skill. And we can jump in here. We stacked that ult a bit quicker that time because Finan took some hits. And he gets an ult charge whenever he takes a hit. So we're here in his ultimate mode, and he has 6,400 attack and 358.4% crit damage with 95.2% crit rate. Not bad, not bad. I will use his skill here, which is going to double, and we'll get another free one at the beginning of the second half. Here's Argenti. And there he goes. Luckily for him, he has 2 health bars. But we should be able to take him down next time. We do also keep stacking Saridra's military merit buff, even when she's not here with Finan. So I think with my Finan being E1 or E2, I can't remember which one gives him the extra turns whenever he uses a fully stacked bounce. A fully stacked meteor attack. He gets some extra turns, and I think with those extra turns we do actually get a double skill that is empowered with the peerage buff, which is very nice. We might see it later on in the Memory of Chaos against some tougher enemies. So let's roll this. I can do this 3 times because I won't use Jiao Chou's technique. There's the ocean bubble, and we will start the fight here with Kafka. There we go. We should do pretty well against the second half, specifically because they share a health bar, so AoE is very strong against them. But we need to get through these guys first. Couple ults. Boom, boom. Not bad, not bad. There we go. I want to get Jiao Chou's zone up. There we go. It is awkward that Mycelin's got CC'd there. She does actually get some extra effect resistance, I think, from 69%. Nice. She gets some extra effect resistance from Avendrine's shields. While she is CC'd, we don't get the benefits of her extra attacks. So, that is unfortunate. These guys should go down to dots when their time comes around. We'll just do it there. she? All the way down there. She's not going to clear up until her turn comes around, or potentially if she gets hit. Yeah. Although if she gets hit, she'll take an extra large amount of damage. Let's pop Aventurine's ult. And although these guys don't have a great amount of dots on them right away, I am gonna pop Kafka's ult here. There we go. Boom, and a skill, which shouldn't be an issue here. Okay, there we go, there we go, there we go. Oh, Iceland's did take a hit there, but it didn't actually do that much damage. I'm gonna pop her technique, her skill here, and these guys will go into their second phase, which potentially, yep. Apart from Zhao Zhou's special dot, it has cleared all of their other dots, which is slightly frustrating for dot teams. We should be able to stack them up again pretty quick though. Zhao Zhou has just enough energy regen to keep his ult up there, which is nice. And then I'm gonna pop the Kafka ult. Boom, still a very nice chunk. We'll do the skill, and then I'm gonna use Iceland's ult as well, which will also do a nice chunk. Very nice, very nice. Still managed to take them down without too much trouble there. And we can move on to stage 11. So the first half is against the fan favourite Hule. Finan is a good choice against this one, although I feel like we will want a sustain to go in this team. And I think we will go for... How about we bring Lingsha along? She'll help contribute to the weakness break when Finan is not in his ult mode. Yeah. And the second team, I don't know if we can force. I don't know if we can force our dots again, although I do spot 2 lightning weaknesses. So we potentially could still. I think it might be worth a try. Yeah, why not? Why not? We'll see how it goes. Yeah, we're gonna jump straight in here, with the only change being Lingsha here instead of Ranmei, who will help keep us alive just in case anything awful happens. But potentially, with how powerful Finan is, that might have been an unnecessary change. Having said that, looking at the chunk we all just took, maybe it's for the best. So we'll start like normal, just trying to stack Finan up to 6 of the military merit points, and around the same time we get him into his ult with 12 of his ult points. So just pop that. I'm gonna do Sunday's ult, just in case he takes some hits. It won't be wasted energy. And yeah, he was pretty low, so I'm glad we brought a sustain in. Yeah, we'll do another heal. Why not? And I can boost him back. And he will he'll be ready to do this skill hit. Pop, pop. And here we are. Let's see how big a hit we do with this. As we get further on in the Memory of Chaos, these guys get more HP, so we might not instantly chunk them, which is sad, but it's the reality. Let's see. Oh, that is unfortunate. I think there was like one guy left who ate my my double charged skill. That's awkward. That's awkward. That's awkward. Let's do this again. Let's do this again. Still doing pretty nice damage to Hule. Do another one of these. This happened so often in the last Memory of Chaos video as well. All of the enemies would constantly end up on 1% HP. And it makes it so awkward. I don't want to waste a skill on that. So I'll just do a normal attack again and then get a double. Oh, we don't even get a double there. Okay, we'll just do it now. Let's see. We'll get another couple of stacks. Yeah, we'll get a double skill, even though it's pretty unnecessary. Here we are. Perfect, perfect, and that is Hule down. And let's see if our DoT team holds up against Nikador. We can do 3 rolls with Aventurine. 3. Unfortunately not. And we'll jump in here. This Nikador fight does want lots of AoE. Because he like pulls out copies of everyone's soul and I think reduces their HP while the soul is on the field. So we want loads of HP to chunk everyone down. And I think we should be fine. We should be fine with that. Pop Chowcho's ult here. This guy on the right, Bartholos, wants to get hit with a basic attack. Which I can do with Aventurine when he comes around. It's gonna be a big Kafka ult. Not bad, not bad. And I'll just hit this guy in the middle with the skill. Again, we're gonna be stacking our dots before we see lots of damage. Let me just use Aventurine's ult here. Perfect. And look at that, Kafka's already got her ult back with those 2 follow-up attacks. Very nice. Let's see, I'm just going to do a basic attack here. And we'll pop this here. Nice, that guy down, and this guy is clinging on to dear life with what seems like 1% HP again. There we go. And here is Nikador. I'm gonna wait until he goes before I use my ults, just in case he summons all the ads now. I'm gonna do Chowcho's skill to apply the debuff. Nice, okay. Ouch. There we go. These are the ones that we want to take down quickly. So I'll pop them here. I do like having Chowcho in this team because his debuff, his max stack debuff, automatically gets applied to any adds or extra waves, as long as his ultimate field is up. So it just helps stacking on some of these smaller guys. I think I'll do this and an ult here. Couple follow-ups from Kafka. I'm going to use Iceland's ult here though. Wow. Should do a nice pop. Nice pop. Oh, that was a pretty good chunk. Kafka's almost got her ult up, but I don't think we're going to be able to get it in time before Nikador's go. So I'm just going to do... I'm going to do a skill and then an ult with Chao Cho to get his zone back up. Aventurine's shields are holding up really well though. Look at all those bars. Okay, well, 3%. See, look at that, look at that. I feel like there's something coded in to make it more likely the bosses hold on at 1%. That's my feeling. And I have some empirical evidence in the form of these videos. We're just gonna do a skill would be wasted here. I'm just gonna do a basic attack. Well, I was kind of hoping it would take him down anyway. There we go, there we go. It might have been sensible to bring a healer instead of a Aventurine. Just thinking about it, I think I was expecting, although I fought this guy a load of times already, I couldn't exactly remember how his mechanics worked. I was expecting us to get our HP back as we reduce this this deduction, but it has just left us without the max HP there. However, with some pretty beefy shields, about equal to everyone's HP, potentially we don't need to worry. I'm going to do an AoE here, followed up by Iceland's ult. Kafka's coming up very soon. Oh look, yeah, I didn't have the dots stacked up, so maybe I should have held on to that. With Kafka coming up soon, I want to use her ult on her turn so that she benefits from the Eagle of Twilight line boost. Although looking at things, I'm not sure it did work that way. I was expecting it to come just ahead of this cycle. Got some extra ults though, which is nice. I'll just do it now. It was a question I had when I used Eagle of Twilight Line on Anaxa, although I've since switched him off. It says that it boosts them in the turn order by 25%. So I had wondered if that meant if I used the ult on their turn, do they benefit from the 25% boost for their next turn? Or does it only work if they're not currently going? That graphic, I clicked a bit too quickly, but that graphic with the arrows, is what we're looking for. But I'm not sure that showed up when I used the ult on Kafka's turn. I'm not sure about that one. We'll try and keep an eye out next time. But let me know if you have any ideas. We've had a pretty clean run all the way up to stage 12 though. So let's see. So I haven't fought this guy yet. I think it's like us in the story. haven't fought this boss, so I don't know how he works. Potential so boost someone currently friendly. Set proving his method black tide. Disputation mode. Form 2. Massive quantum damage to all targets. Based on okay. Currently continuously pay out okay. So it seems like we're just looking for AoE then. From my very brief reading of his skills, it looks like we want to take down his ads as soon as possible. Otherwise he will do some big damage to us. Now, I note that he is not weak himself to lightning. All of the other people in the second wave are. So I think I'm gonna stick with this. It would be really nice if we had a clean run of just using the same teams, more or less. Although we swapped around May out on the first half. So I'm gonna give that a go. But I think I might swap Lingsha out for maybe Fushuan, who gives some sustain in the form of damage reduction and a little bit of healing in her ult. But she also gives some crit rate and crit damage buffs as well, because I have her at E1. So I think that would be nice, and it would get our Finan to 100% crit rate in his ultimate form, which is great. And we'll jump in and see how things go. I am of course still a bit worried about the second team, but we're going to be putting it through its paces. Let's pop our techniques, and we'll jump in against this guy. There we go. Poor Jabard, he doesn't know what is about to hit him. It is the second time he's faced off against Finan, or Kazlana, more specifically, who dropped a couple meteors on him. We'll see if he goes down as easily this time. Okay, I'll just do basic attack there, Do a skill, share the weakness damage just a little bit, Boost it back up. With another skill. Here we go. We do get a little heal with Fu Xuan's ult. So we'll do that now, why not? And unless Finan takes a couple hits, we'll get his ult up and running when Saritra goes next. There's one, and there's two. Let's pop his ult here. And let's check the stats. Perfect, so we are over 100% crit rate. 379% crit damage, looking pretty good. And we get a double meteor bounce here. There we go. Cool. I think I'm not entirely sure how some of these mobs work. Some of these guys work because I haven't fought them in the game yet. But I think maybe this guy was reducing my damage to everyone else. Something like that. Maybe I mistimed his ult. Pop that. They are of course just generally pretty tanky at this point. Do another hit here. And a bounce, and a bounce, and a bounce, and a bounce. This guy's holding on. But we managed managed to take him down just in time to get our double skill on the next phase here. Interestingly, Japard only has 1 health bar. I would have expected him to have 2 at this point. We doubled that, we doubled that. Perfect. Very nice damage. Very nice. Gonna hit this guy here. I don't think we're gonna be able to finish this off in 1 ult. Although maybe I'll hit Japard here. And we might finish them off with this ult damage. Oh, that guy skipped ahead. Maybe I should have done the counter. I didn't know that was gonna happen though. Okay, and we are in a pretty good spot. Let's pop some ults, just a little bit more damage, and these guys will be going down. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this, and then we'll get a double finance skill. We'll just hit this middle guy to like spread the blast damage. Physical damage, dealing massive physical damage. Yeah, this will do, I think. Perfect. And then the second one just hits Japard. Very nice. What a surprise. This guy on 1% HP. No big deal. No big deal. One more turn there. And now we're up against this guy, who I have not seen yet. I've not fought this boss yet. He looks cool though. Hopefully he's not too much of a menace. We get to roll the dice 3 times with Ventrine's technique. Nothing, unfortunately. And then we'll pop Iceland's technique and start the fight with Kafka here. Boom. Boom. Now these guys are not weak to lightning, so we're not going to be breaking their weaknesses too often, which is hopefully fine. Hopefully will not be a big deal. They're already taking a fairly decent amount of dot damage and we haven't really stacked anything. So I'm feeling hopeful. Okay, so if I do... I'm going to use this skill. Oh, the ult isn't ready. That's okay. Use it here. So technically at this point our turn as Kafka has ended and we're doing this next. Because I used the skill first, so we're seeing these arrows to indicate that she's getting a boost. Next time we have her ult and it is her turn, I'll try and check. Just to see. We'll pop a skill from Iceland here. And I think I'm just gonna do a single attack with Jojo. So Iceland's took a pretty big hit there. Thankfully it didn't get through the shield, but it was close. It was close. This guy's gonna heal, because there's some Mars struck here ready to go. Which is unfortunate. But all we can do is keep AoEing, try and take everyone down. I'm not going to use Ventrine's skill here because we have his ult coming up, which will give us all a nice big shield. Perfect. Do another skill there. We'll follow it up with an ult to hopefully do some nice damage. not a huge amount of damage there, which is nice for us. So, we're definitely feeling the lack of damage here. We're already a few cycles in. As long as we do it before this number hits 19, we get full stars, which is fine. Which is exactly what we want there. I'm gonna hit this guy, because we should catch that guy on the right with some AoE damage. There we go. And hopefully I'm not gonna need to waste Kafka's ult. We can hopefully pop that guy with a skill here. Oh, not quite, that's unfortunate. Okay, we will learn on the job. We will learn on the job with this guy, who looks very cool and has some very cool music as well. He seems to have like, oh, is that 5 weakness bars? Okay. Okay, so ideally I want to ult here first, so I don't waste the extra energy I get from the skill. Yeah. I don't think we're benefiting from the Eagle of Twilight line in that case. So maybe it's worth wasting the energy to get the boost. Potentially, I wonder if anyone's crunched the numbers. There we go. We broke these guys' weaknesses, which is good enough. There we go. Oh, nice. And we do have an ult again. She literally just used it, but she gets so much energy. And I think that guy gave us some energy from his war armor. So I'll just pop it here. Okay. How long does this debuff take? Increase the damage. I just want to see how long Hycelin's debuff on her skill lasts. 3 turns. So there's not a great reason to waste the skill point while it's still here. Which debuff is it? Oh, maybe we don't have it applied already. Cornered is Jiao Zhou's one. Unnerved and all in are Aventurines. I'll do that. I think it's that diamond one. I want to take another look, please. Yeah, this one, Overture Hum, Chorus After Dark Tides. We'll keep an eye on that one. Okay, so Aventurine isn't a great target for that one. At least we get to refresh an ult. And we will pop Iceland's ult as well. See how much that chunks him. 1%. That ult did 1% of his health bar. It's not looking great. Our damage might not be there for this fight. I'll do another ult. He's not one weapon. Oh, was I not supposed to? And we'll take massive damage. That's my bad. I didn't read his skills well enough, I think. I'm concerned about this massive damage I'm supposed to be taking. Okay. Kafka's coming around soon. We should be able to clear up some of these ads. With an ult here, with an ult. Boom. Cho's ult as well. I'm scared about this. Everyone has pretty good shields at least. Okay, that wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad. We've only just about done 20% of this guy's health bar though. So I'm concerned about not being able to do enough damage in time. Let's keep going. If we didn't bring the DoT team, I wonder what might be good. So I think if we do a skill and then an ult, we'll get the Eagle of Twilight Line bonus, which I don't know, maybe averages out. Okay. So that looked pretty cool. Thankfully we still have all our shields up. Cho is CC'd though. And we're 1/4 of the way through. I am wondering, what's that 2-stack one? Corporeal damage received increases by 50%. This effect is stackable. Oh, interesting. It doesn't have a time limit as well. That must be part of his own kit. So maybe with this ramping damage, we will be fine. I was just thinking about maybe, what's that one? I actually didn't realize I could click on these debuffs. I'm gonna reapply Iceland's one. With this stacking damage, we might be okay. I was potentially considering throwing the towel in early just to get another team out here. But maybe we'll be okay. Maybe we'll be okay. We'll reapply Cho's ult. Yeah, this is going a lot quicker now. We're almost at 50% damage. Pop another one of these, and Iceland's ult. Okay, he's picked a Ventrine again. I would have preferred anyone else. Okay, cool. We're still looking good for shields. Kafka, for example, has a 3,281 shield. Okay. I'll do an AoE. It does a bit more damage. It might have been worth saving Kafka's ult for these extra ads, though. Okay, so whenever he changes to this mode, he takes an extra 50%. So he's now taking 150%. And if I use the ult that he has empowered, using ultimate consumes HP equal to 50% of this unit's max HP. This damage prioritizes shield effect reduction and is non-fatal. Oh, okay, interesting. So, because we have massive shields, and Ventrine is reapplying them pretty consistently, I don't think we need to worry too much about all of these big chunks of damage. So we'll just do that. And we use Iceland's one as well. Interestingly enough, it picked Iceland's and a Ventrine as well. I wonder if it's always like the first and last unit. There's AoE there. Okay. Jojo's here. We have plenty of skill points, so I'm just going to use a skill there. 50%. We have 4 cycles left. I do want to reapply some of our alts though. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to pop Kafka's ult here. Not bad, not bad, not bad. We use Jojo's ult here. Reset the counter on our field. And I'm just going to do a normal attack so that we have a skill point to use with Kafka. There he goes at 9 out of 10, so he's going to do his big hit next, I think right after we do Kafka's ult. Hopefully he doesn't entangle some important members of our team. Oh, perfect. Perfect, he didn't hit any of them. And he now has 4 stacks of the 50% extra damage. So he's taking 200% extra damage from Corporeal. Corporeal, Corporeal. We're looking good. I think we should be good. Honestly, I feel like Aventurine has been the MVP this time around. I've loved using the other DoT units, of course. It's really refreshing to do a different playstyle, slightly. To some degree, it's still using skills and stuff, of course. But Aventurine's shielding has been absolutely insane. No one has taken a single point of regular damage yet. Boom, 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 boom. There we go, there we go. Okay, so he's picked Kafka for the enhanced ult this time around. So it's not always locked on Aventurine, it just rolled him twice. I'm gonna do it this way. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that we would lose the enhanced ult. That is okay, we'll pop this and this guy should be dealt with. There we go, there we go. It's quite frankly funny how often this happens. So 1% again. We should be able to finish him off with Iceland's though. Oh, there we go. There we go. A follow-up from Kafka did the trick, and although it took quite a few more cycles than the other floors, we did get all 3 stars on floor number 12. So that is all 36 stars. 100% of this Memory of Chaos done. We get a tasty 800 Stellar Jade and a couple of feathers to spend in the shop here. I'm just going to buy all of this. There we go. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just drop the extra jades on Saritra's light cone here. Epoch, etched in golden blood. It's a very good light cone, of course, for her. I'm not close to Pity or anything though, so I'm hoping we get it, of course, but I'm not expecting it. Let's just drop a couple of balls here. There's one. This is two. Hopefully we see that ticket glitching. 3 is 3. And 4. We'll get another one after this. 5. I feel like I haven't seen a 4-star in a while, so this could be a 4-star. It was not. Unfortunately, not much from those couple of pulls there, but loads of fun trying out my new DoT team and also trying out Saridra as well. I really hope that you enjoyed this as well, and that you found it relaxing, maybe entertaining, and I hope that you come back again soon for another one. Thank you so much for joining me today, and good night.